Get the fuck out of my house. No, I'm joking. But anyways. Hello, my name is Trey Francis, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. In this video, we are going to be doing a review of Lovecraft Country, sort of like a breakdown, season 1, episode 3. So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this particular episode. We opened up and it had these words on the screen, and so I read them, and they're very important because they kind of set you up for the journey, but they also could be, you know, a little misleading isn't the right word, but it kind of makes you think you're gonna go left and you make a sharp right. You know what I mean? So these were the words that were on the screen. In the summer of 1955, a group of Negro men and women moved into a house on the north side of Chicago. 10 days later, 3 people went missing inside the house, never to be seen again. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, so who we finna lose? What's the fuck shit that's about to happen? Like, who about to, you know, we already lost Uncle George, and that was like my heart, because Uncle George knew a lot of what the fuck he was talking about and saved the day a whole bunch of times in those first 2 episodes, but I digress. Open with Letty surprising her sister. They're walking down the street and she surprises her sister with this home. She's bought this house. Her sister's sort of interrogating her, saying, hey, where did you get this fucking money from? And Letty's just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like, let me show you this amenity. Let me show you this. We had an elevator. There's a basement. It has 14 rooms, all these bathrooms. Like, don't even worry. You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna make this sort of be like a boarding house for Negroes, you know, to come here and feel safe. You know what I mean? To not have to worry about anything, because, you know, people always on some fuck shit in the 1950s. In 2022. You know, Ruby's not really sure about moving in, and Letty's sort of like, hey girl, this is for us. We get to bond. We get to share something. We get to have this moment. Letty finally is like, okay, you know what? I'll stay. I'll help you with this stuff. So 5 minutes in, Letty is basically almost decapitated when she goes to show Ruby the elevator, and the elevator comes crashing down from the top. She gonna laugh, and Ruby's like, you know what? That shit ain't funny. I'm about to walk up the fuck up out of here because I don't got time to be dying. So she's like, okay, we gotta get this fixed. We gotta get this fixed. The house is sort of, it's dilapidated if you ask me. Like, it's particularly from the outside, it was gross. The inside wasn't much better. So it's definitely a place that they have to put a little bit of elbow grease into, you know, elbow grease. So it's something that has to be worked on. You go over to the Uncle George's wife, right? His widow. She is still here, which I didn't even recognize. Anjanae Ellis? Anjanae Ellis, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She did the movie with Ava DuVernay, you know, the Central Park 5 movie. Nominated for like Emmys and stuff, so whatever. But she's like that amazing actress. She has this moment where she pulls out one of Uncle George's books. Remember, he's an avid reader, and so you see her like ripping out these pages, and she's like pissed off, right? Like, that's kind of, it seems as if this is how she starts her day, because then we see her go downstairs. She's more, I don't want to say cheery, but she's more available to her family. Her daughter's there, her nephew is there. She's sort of on to Tick about something, like she kind of feels uneasy. She can sense there's some uneasiness that he has when he's around her, and so she wants to kind of get to the bottom of like what really happened with her husband. She has some questions, and Tick ain't trying to stay around and answer them. So we see him basically in the first half of this episode basically looking for a place to stay, because he don't want to stay out with his auntie and end up saying something, you know, basically telling the truth, because he lied to her. They lied to her. So then Tick goes over to his father's house, and his father basically tells him to leave him the fuck alone. You can't stay up in this hole. Go. Also, Tick is over there because he's also wanting to be like, you know, Uncle George, Uncle George, Uncle George. He keeps talking about that, and the father's like, you have to let that go. You have to let that go. We keep talking about it. We keep bringing it up. We're gonna make a mistake, okay? We're gonna make a mistake. People are gonna find out what really happened, and we gotta kind of keep this on the low. So now we're on day 2. This is the move-in day. This is the white part of town, right? It's North Chicago. This ain't the South Side. It's North Chicago. They racist up there. They don't like black people moving into their neighborhood, and we're gonna find out very quickly how they're about to show that. So Tick stopped by. We see him stop by. Letty basically invites him to stay around for a little bit because he's about to go back to Florida, and she's like, stay. And at first he was unsure until we saw some racist cops pull up outside. They're gonna do a slow drive-by, and then we also see a whole bunch of racist white people, the neighbors, right? The racist neighbors. They have lined the street in front of Letty's house with their cars, and they've tied bricks to the horn so that the horn is just nonstop. So this is their way of terrorizing the new people who moved into their community because they don't want them there. Because this happened, Atticus is like, you know what? I'm gonna stay around because I gotta protect you. Okay, so let me stay around for a little bit and see what the fuck is that. Now we moved on to day 5. So for the past 3 days, these races have had their horns blaring, right? So it's day 5, and Letty is basically woken up. We see the first spirit or ghost, if you will, arise. They're fucking with Letty as she's trying to stay cool on her, or stay covered in her bed because it's hot in that motherfucker. And they pull the sheets off and she jumps up. Of course, she doesn't see it when she gets up. So this is the first sort of idea, sort of sense of like the supernatural in this particular episode. The AC is broken or whatever case may be. The house is overheating and she needs to fix it. So when she goes down there to fix it, she hears some voices, right? And some bumping coming from the basement down below. She freaks out. She goes and get Tick. Her and Tick go down and check it out. There's nothing there. So Tick is like, you know what? I don't see anything. You have nothing here to worry about. Let's just go. So now we jump from day 5 to day 8, right? This is the housewarming party. So everyone has come. All of her friends have come over. You know, Letty is very artsy. She's a photographer. Her friends have come over to welcome her into her home and to enjoy some live music by her sister Ruby and to just drink and dance and have a good time. Dee and her friends, which is Atticus's niece, she's downstairs with her friends and they're playing with the Ouija board, which I'm just like, first of all, let's not play with this. Don't do that. Dude, that's the last thing we'll do, I promise. So one guy asks, is he gonna have a good time on his trip? And the Ouija board tells him no. Fuck no. So then it's the next guy's turn and he goes, oh, so who are we communicating with? He spells out Dee's father's name, George, Uncle George. She gets pissed off because she thinks that they were moving the thing that moves on the Ouija board, and so she gets up and she storms off. Tick comes over and he finds himself in his feelings because Letty's out on the dance floor and she's dancing with some handsome guy or whatever case may be. And there's this other guy who used to be like a fling of Letty's back when they were in high school, and he basically told Tick, hey, if that's yours, you basically need to like claim your estate. So then literally in the next scene is Letty goes to, she's going to cool down her face. In storms Tick. He pulls out and they get the fucking. Come to find out, he looks down, she's bleeding. She says, oh, I didn't know I was on my monthly. And they leave it at that, and she goes, hey, I'll see you downstairs. So as they go back downstairs, we look out the window, and the racist white people in the neighborhood, they've left they've put a stake in her yard, basically, of a wooden cross that they've set ablaze. Letty has had enough. She's had some drinks, her back blown in tonight. She's with the shits. She grabs her baseball bat and she heads out. Hot sauce and all the brothers in the neighborhood who was at the party, they pull out their shotguns. It's like, okay, y'all gonna fuck with us? We're gonna protect her while she's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants to do. I'm busting windows at your car. Letty's not playing games. We busting all these fucking windows. She's busting the bricks off of the horns so that the noise could finally stop, because it's been incessant, right? For the last like 8 days. And when the cops show up, they all get on their hands and knees because they realize they're gonna be arrested. Letty's in the police car. He's questioning her. Who gave you the money for this place? You're a poor, basically inward. You're a poor, you can't afford this place. Who told you to come over here and do this? And so since she ain't answering, they started to rough her up. Oh, this is the Winthrop's old place. Oh, that we found pieces of 8 different, body parts of 8 different black people down there. So history, repeats itself. It ain't looking too good for you, sis. Y'all might want to get the fuck up out of there. And he's not saying it as like a warning, like as a protection. They basically just want them to get the fuck up out of this place. Letty goes to check in on her pictures from the night of basically from yesterday. She sees that her pictures have been scratched. They've been disfigured. His head, emerges from the ground and basically says, get the fuck up out of my place. Like, I done told you once, I done told you twice. If I have to tell you again, it's over for your dumb ass. Apparition, if you will, of Mr. Winthrop. Next morning, all of the tenants, they're moving out. So Ruby, her sister, right, she's worried. Like, Letty, how are we gonna pay for this place? Like, we don't got the money like that. Like we still, we gotta take care of this. She lets on that she gained an inheritance from their mother. And the sister's like, you, of all people? The sister then basically reads Letty her rights. She curses her out because she's like, how could you keep this from me? Why didn't you split this with me and our brother? I think. So then we jump over to Uncle George's widow. She's basically talking to Tick's father, and she just doesn't believe that. She's not believing what Tick told her. She's like, Tick has been over here for the past month. He really hasn't been saying shit to me other than the lie he told me that I know his dumbass told me about my husband. I need answers, like, what the fuck happened? And of course, the father, who doesn't want to talk about it, he's like, that's it. Like, there's nothing else to tell you. Like, I don't know what to say to you, but that's it. He was shot. We put him to rest. That's that. We jump to day 10, right? This is what we've been waiting for. 3 people about to die up in this hole. Tick meets up with a lady at a restaurant who begins to explain to him, like, hey, my place is haunted. And when I was arrested by them racist ass cops, they were interrogating me. He basically let on about this being the Winthrop's house, and so I did some research. I found out that the last owner of the home was someone who was like a scientist, and that he was doing work on Black people, essentially. And so that's where we kind of piecing together, okay, that's probably where these spirits are coming from, these Black ghosts that we keep seeing. And she tells him about this guy named Epstein, who was the previous owner. Like I said, he was doing experiments on humans, and the police chief seems to have been a friend of his, like a co-conspirator. He was probably someone who was helping this person out, because in all of the different documentations of it, the different news reports and things like this, you can see both of them in the pictures together. So there's something between the two of them, and that's probably one of the reasons, besides him being a racist asshole, that he don't like them. So then Letty also reveals to Tick at that time that the other night when they did the do, that she was basically a virgin. I used to apologize. She's like, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Like, I wanted this. Like, I wanted to feel something. Like, we haven't even talked about the other night with all that shit that happened to us. Like, so they leave it at that. So Letty says she's going to get to the bottom of this, because Tick is telling her, hey, you just need to move out of the house. Letty goes, no, I'm going to get to the bottom of this fuck shit. Don't even worry. And so basically she finds, I don't know if the shaman's not the right word. First of all, why did I say a shaman? That's not the word I was looking for. She basically finds someone who can speak to the dead, someone who can communicate with the dead, who can reach to the other side, right? I forget the name of that person, but that person is definitely not a shaman. But anyways. And so they come over, she gives them the blood of this goat, this billy goat, and basically puts it outside of the house and says that, hey, this is going to keep you safe. However, let's go down here in this basement. Let me find this spirit. We're going to talk to them. We're going to see what's up. While they're down there, 3 white men, they break into her house because they want to get them back. Basically, they're trying to murder them. They have baseball bats, and at least they want to beat them to a pulp, right? And as they're up there looking for them, they start to hear the voices, this whispering of like the different spirits in the house, basically luring them into this room. When they go into this room, one by one, them hoes murdered. When we jump back downstairs, the lady, she becomes possessed. It looks like it was the owner. She was the host body for him. So she runs over and she starts to try to murder, essentially choke out Tick. He moves from her into Tick's body, and then Tick start, get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my house. So then all the spirits start coming down there, and it looks like it's over for Letty. Letty joins hands with the spirits because Tick had mentioned something about like the only way you're gonna be able to like rectify this, like Uncle George used to tell the story, was that you would have to go to the other side with them. And I was thinking like the other side, like she had to be dead the other side. And she basically tells him, get the fuck out of my house. The demon or the spirit or whatever of Mr. Winthrop, he leaves out of his place. He basically like vanishes, and Tick drops to the ground. Oh, there was this beautiful shot where it was a singular shot of Letty and this reporter. This reporter had come over to kind of do a report, right, about how Letty is helping the community and stuff like this. And so as Letty's talking to the reporter, they get onto this elevator. It's all in a singular shot. They get on to this elevator. They're talking back and forth. The reporter asks Letty, she's like, hey, like, have you heard about, she's like, off the record, do you know what happened to like, 3 of your like white neighbors? Like that just went missing. And I was like, the niggas that went missing. That's what we're talking about. So she goes, no, I didn't even know that, I've heard nothing. They go downstairs. She asks for a photo with Letty. They take a photo and then they walk off because Letty's sort of giving her like a tour of the house, which remember is 3 stories and stuff like this. So then the elevator, the door closes and it continues to go down in this singular shot. When the doors open, there we see the 3 men who, 3 bodies, like they say, who died in his house, who will never be seen again. Good riddance. So then, which I was like, that could have been a cute ending, but then they served us with something a little better, because this line that I'm about to deliver, she read this line. Then we jump over to Atticus. Atticus goes to basically accost Christina because he remembered that, like I told you earlier, that he saw the Winthrop name on one of the paintings in her father's lair at the mansion. So he basically goes over there, accosts her about it, to confront her about it, and he's gonna try to murder her. He's gonna shut all the windows, all the blinds, they're gonna pull out a gun. As she was telling this story to him about some of the history of their family. Remember, his blood runs in that family, so they're basically related. So she's going on about this story about the language of Adam, and as she tries to pull out his gun to shoot her, of course, Christina's powerful. So I'm like, okay, so Atticus just the idiot. She has powers. So she freezes him, and he can't move. He's you know, he's clicking the gun, but nothing's, of course, is going to happen because she has power. She lets them know that everyone gets at least one power. Like, you can have more, but everyone gets at least one. And so we kind of know her thing. Her thing, like, she can put up force fields. That's basically what it is. So you ain't gonna be able to fuck with her. That's her power. She has a force field. So it basically let me know that Atticus also has a power, right? Atticus has something that is that through this blood of this family, he can also tap into. So I'm like getting real excited because I'm just like, I want to see what the fuck Atticus can do. Like, what can he do? Like, I need to see his power like ASAP. So hopefully we'll start to get into that in the next episode. So as she's going around talking to him, she's like, so can I continue with my story? As she circles around him, she delivered this like knockout line. Like this actress. Yes, ma'am. Christina, this actress who plays Christina, and I forgot her name, but she is, like, every time I see her on screen, every time I see Letty on screen, there's just something about them. Of course, Anjanae, if that's how you pronounce her name, Ellis, of course, her, she's just fantastic. I love seeing Uncle George on the screen. When he was on the screen, like, some of these are some really good actors in this series. Christina's one of them, the actress who plays Christina. So she basically hands Atticus a card and put it in his pocket, and she says, call me. She goes, call me when you're ready to learn more about our family history. And then she gets him with this. To top it off, she goes, basically, and stop being a dumbass. You know you just can't go around killing white women. Like, you better, hoe. You better. Like, I don't even care. Like, that's a good burn. Like, I don't even care. Like, because it looks like she's on his side, and she already said that, you know, not all white people are out to try to get him, and she's one of the ones who ain't, because he's in her blood, they're related. I believe she's gonna start to be like that third person who's sort of helping him out and letting out with all of the stuff that's going on, the supernatural world that we've sort of inhabited with these characters. So I'm very excited to see what Christina has to teach him, because he needs to learn more about his family business and get on with his powers, because I want to know what Atticus's power is. So I'm very excited. But that line slayed me. I was like, they better. Like, that was one of the best lines of the episode. Shout out to Misha Green, shout out to Jordan Peele, shout out to all the writers writing the show, because I really love a lot of the dialogue. I really love just how this story unfolds. Whoever's shooting these different episodes, I'm pretty sure there's different cinematographers. Sometimes there's one, but I believe there's different ones. So whoever shot this one, I really loved a lot of the different pieces that they did, especially, like I said, that last elevator shot, particularly also the scene where Letty was holding hands with the ghosts and how they had them looking, and they started to transform more from their ghostly bodies to like their human form, and how she was chanting and the sweat was coming, and she was like, they had some good shots in this episode. I was really shocked and stunned, just full stop. This was definitely another ace episode. I'm really enthralled by the show, in love, infatuated, like, unless like this is a really good series. So I can't wait to see where else they take us with the last 7 episodes of this series. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you are new, please hit the subscribe button. And also, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, give this video a like. Let me know what was your favorite part of this series. What was some of your favorite lines? What was your favorite scene? What are you expecting? Sort of, break this down with me. Like, let's go on this journey together. That is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.